program is brought to you in living color.
This program is for mature audiences only.
Please have your fake ID ready.
It is 3 p.m. in New York City. In Los Angeles, it's high noon. And from our broadcast nerve center in St. Francis, Wisconsin, it is 2 p.m. God's time. Brace yourselves. Broadcasting live on Spreaker Web Radio, it's time for your midday
Hot Cheddar Injection.
hot, melty, cheesy news, music, politics, and commentary, and your cheesy phone calls at 414-501-4003. Now, here's your cheesy cheesemeister, Bill Schmulfeld.
You think a guy would get a chance to finish his little slice of raisin bread there. Hi there, Bill Schmulfeld here for, what is this, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. February 4th, 2016. This is your hot cheddar injection. Everybody bend over so we can apply the astringent. Ah, what a day. I told you about how my morning started yesterday, and it really just turned out to be a bruise more than anything else. A little bit of a scrape, but had a real blow to the psyche, not to the psyche so much, but to my emotions today. I'll talk about that. Then I'm going to start a series here of sharing with you some of the comedy CDs that I've posted and are available online. And today we'll start with 2016 Erase Odyssey. And you will see, and this was recorded, by the way, in the 2016 Erase Odyssey was recorded in 2014. So you will see how far off the mark I was. But we're going to start today, if it's all right with you, with a letter I got in the mail today. And let's pull it up here. It was from the Anatomy Gifts Registry. And I knew this was coming. And I knew it would be an emotional day when I received it. On June 17th, 2015, the day Gail died, the Anatomy Gifts Registry people came and accepted her donation of her entire body. I'm going the same way, only I won't be here to talk about it. But I knew it would be an emotional day when I eventually received this letter, which they told me I'd receive in 6 to 8 months after her passing. Come the 17th of this month, it'll be 8 months. I got the report today from Anatomy Gifts Registry about how my late wife, Gail, how her remains were used by medical science. 1. She was used to study better ways to handle airway obstructions. And then I quote from the letter, "These life-saving scientific advancements will have an enormous impact on the way first responders address emergency situations." 2. Gail suffered from hearing loss in her later years. This is from the letter. Donations like your wives have contributed to the advancement in otologic procedures that would otherwise not be possible via animal or artificial models. 3. They used Gail's hips and knees to study new advancements in joint replacement. So people will be walking around in less pain because of Gail. And this might be the most important one here, number 4. When you need an infusion of life-saving fluids or medication and they can't find a vein, the medical technicians will perform what's called an intraosseous infusion. That means they inject that directly into the bone. There is no way to practice this on a living human being because it is a painful procedure. I quote from the letter. As a direct result of your wife's gift, breakthrough techniques for intraosseous transfusions or infusions have been developed to provide immediate access to the vascular system. And she was also used as a model for anatomy study. I quote again from the letter. Gail's gift has played a vital role in promoting excellence for patient-centered advancement in medicine. Her donation has truly left a lasting impression on humankind. That's not me talking, kid. That's the letter. That's the Anatomy Gifts Registry. After I got this letter today, I called them and thanked them for sending it. Got quite emotional with them and told them, I guess I'm next. I'll see you in 20 years or so. But walking scum like Paul Krendler, like Sarah Palmer and their readers have mocked me for not holding a funeral for Gail. She explicitly did not want a memorial service. I have her worldly remains, which were not used in any of these procedures, here with me in my home. She was cremated. Selfish people like Palmer and Krendler would likely be satisfied to be embalmed, buried, and left to rot without having made any sort of donation that could be used to save lives or improve medical knowledge. My wife, my beloved Gail, who died on June 17th, 2015, made a difference in the world. Can Palmer, Krendler, or any of their vomitous, vile readers say the same? And you know what? That's the last time I'm going to talk about them. That's the last time I'm going to blog about them. I'm never going to look at their websites again. They can deal with me in court.
Hot cheddar
Injection.
When a bachelor friend of the family tries to tell you how to bring up your children, it isn't very helpful. You want suggestions to come from someone who is more of an authority on the subject. And so it is with gasoline. The paid-for recommendations found in the advertised claims of other fuels are as tinkling brass and sounding cymbal when contrasted with the thoughtful, founded on actual test endorsement, given Rio Grande cracked gasoline by the officials of 30 leading cities and counties of California. These recognized authorities choose Rio Grande Cracked exclusively to power their police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment. This highest, more convincing recommendation has caused a vast army of thinking motorists to swear loyal allegiance to the gasoline which ranks number one with those who know best because they drive the most. They declare that Rio Grande Cracked meets every one of their rigid requirements, delivers quicker one-punch starting, steady trip-hammer acceleration, the longer reach of economical mileage, extra stamina, and greater reserve power. They know what they're talking about, and intelligent motorists appreciate that kind of a recommendation. If you haven't yet joined the parade of motorists who have made a habit of traveling farther for less money, pull in at your Rio Grande dealers tomorrow morning. Fill up with Rio Grande Cracked gasoline and begin letting this police car performance fuel make life easier for your motor and your purse.
Hot cheddar
Injection.
All right, a change in subject here. A welcome one, I believe, because we're just going to forget that those people exist and deal with them in a court of law. Now, back in 2014, I recorded a CD I call a comedy opera, 2016, A Race Odyssey. And on the cover, and on the picture that will be attached to the podcast version of this, you see Hillary Clinton on her way to her coronation while various Republicans stand around looking in envy, I guess. Ted Cruz up there in the corner, Bill Clinton, Mitt Romney, Jeb Bush, Rand Paul. See, now, I wrote this when it looked like Mitt Romney was going to throw his hat into the ring. So, this is from the CD notes, and you can get this at Amazon. You can get it at iTunes. Just do a search for Bill Schmalfeld, SCHMALFELDT, and you'll see all the CDs I have. So, as everyone expected, in November 2014, the Republican Party wound up with the majority of both houses in Congress as our opera begins.
Well, hi there. I'm glad you came by this recording. Yes, sir. A lot of folks wonder what happened in that year of 2016. So long ago, but so fresh in our memories. Yes, sir. Of course, what happened in 2016 didn't really start in 2016. It probably started back in 2009 when the first African-American president, Barack Hussein Obama, became president, and the Republicans in Congress did everything they could to keep him from getting any serious legislation passed. And then in November 2014, they finally achieved their goal. They had a Republican control of the Senate and the House of Representatives, and spent that whole next 2 years with one failed vote after another, trying to get enough votes to impeach President Obama. Oh yeah, they got rid of Obamacare. Hell, they did that right away. President wouldn't sign the bill, so they overrode his veto. That was the beginning of the end. Well, that moves us up now to 2016. Obama, he's a lame duck now, and he's not really thinking that much about his future. He's, planning retirement, I guess, and already the Democratic field seems pretty well set, while the Republicans are in a state of disarray, trying to decide who would be the best candidate for them. But like I said, the Democrats had a pretty good idea of who they were going to nominate. So, why don't you just sit back there for a little while and have a sip of something while I relate the story of 2016, A Race Odyssey.
So now we move into the Oval Office. No, that's not right either. We're not in the Oval Office yet. But we are in Hillary Clinton's office as she and the former president plot the Clintons' return to the White House.
Hello there, Haley. Nice to see you again.
You too, Bill. How long's it been?
Oh, I think it was about back when the grandbaby was born.
What you been doing since then, baby?
Oh, baby, you do not want to know the answer to that
Well,
one.
you know you're gonna have to watch your step for the next 8 years.
Oh, I know. Back to the White House, back to the White House, back to the White House. Won't it be great? Back to the White House, back to the White House, back to the White House. You'll be first mate. No fucking around, don't act like a clown. No more with the bimbos, promise me that. A quick little glance, it won't take the chance. It stays in my pants, I promise you that. Back to the White House, back to the White House, back to the White House. For 8 more years, we're back to the White House. Back to the White House, back to the White House, banners and tears. Oh, you are inevitable, baby.
That's what you said back in 07.
Yeah, but this time there ain't no smooth-talking black fellers sneaking up on you.
Did you take care of O'Malley?
Oh, yeah, he's been taken care of.
I still don't see what an East Coast liberal like O'Malley can add balance.
Fuck balance, baby. You're Hillary Clinton, not Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, that's true.
We're back to the White House, back to the White House, back to the White House. Election day, there won't be no drama. You the big mama, ain't no Obama getting your way. I'll govern with class, no ceiling of glass. That big rod of mass in my office chair. I'll restore our fame by staking my claim. Executive dame, you're practically there.
You know, I wouldn't want to hurt Barack's feelings, but when I was Secretary of State, I practically was the president, so it's not like I won't know what I'm doing when I get there.
Oh, and that beside the point, baby. You had the best mentor in the presidency you could ever have, of yours truly. Boy, I miss that Oval Office.
You missed that little alcove in the Oval Office back by the kitchen there. That's what you miss. God, I can't believe I didn't shoot you right between the eyes back then.
Well, that would have shot your chances to hell now, wouldn't it? Think about it. Being in jail for assassinating the president. That's a pretty rough beef right there, baby.
Well, you can thank your daughter Chelsea that you're alive because, believe me, I was tempted. I was very tempted.
Telling me about temptation, but it won't really matter, and you know why. I'll be in the White House, be in the White House. You'll be the first spouse, I will be next. Just keep your big mouth shut, practice your golf putt. Don't say a thing but party line text. I'll be a good boy, your pride and your joy. I won't say a thing to fuck up your run. I'm happy to hear you'll keep yourself clear of scandal. Remember, I got a gun. Yes, I have a gun, and it ain't for fun. Remember Vince Foster, good old Vince Foster. Think of Vince Foster if you should stray. I won't let a horn dog be a career clog in this campaign slog. Hear what I say, don't act like a turd, and don't say a word unless that you've heard I've said it's okay. I'll be like a mouse, I'm not the same louse, and back to the White House where we will stay. Hey, when your second term expires, how old will Chelsea be?
2024? That should be 44.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
16 more years of Clinton in the White House.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I always loved about you, Bill. You think ahead like a politician. Now, get out of here. I got work to do.
What? I got a date anyway.
You son of a bitch.
Just kidding, baby, just kidding. Lay that pistol down, baby.
Yep. It's like I said. Everybody had a pretty good idea who the Democratic nominee was going to be. Bernie Sanders, an independent socialist, thought about throwing his hat in, but at best he was going to be a third-party candidate, and he knew it. Elizabeth Warren, she was attractive at first to the really far left of the Democratic Party, but it ain't pretty clear she was too far left for the country's current mood. Martin O'Malley, governor of Maryland, well, former governor anyway, he made a run for it, lasted one primary, he came in third in Iowa. I don't remember who came in second, somebody I never heard of. But it was set. It was going to be Hillary Clinton. Republicans, well, they weren't near as set. Matter of fact, even old Mitt Romney was thinking about throwing his hat back in the ring.
We are in need of a businessman to set priorities straight. I should have beaten that John McCain way back in 2008. I'll run again, I'll run again. I wish you wouldn't, I wish you wouldn't. I'll run again, and this time I will win, because the last 8 years of Obama's rule have caused a terrible fix. The debt is higher than it's been since 1926. I'll run again, the debt is low as it's been in decades. I'll run again, with you right there by my side. No more of these foreign-sounding names. This time they'll choose old Mitt, just like they would have the last time if the media weren't poop. I'll win the primaries when I am nominated, then I'll show them there is no way that you can keep a Mormon down. Oh yes, my love, you should have won, that we both agree. But don't you see what this campaigning has done so far to me? I'm under stress, I have MS, my hair is falling out, and golly, don't you remember that you said you wouldn't run? But now this time it seems the nation's calling me. I have to run again because Elohim would never let me live it down after we're dead. When you and I are ruling our planet, I really don't think that Elohim wants your wife to lose her hair and life just for your ego. I think Elohim has a better plan for us than blowing on that cash on a campaign. You really think so? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, dear, it's true. That's so. Tell me, where is your trust? Back in the bus. Thought so. I'm the bishop here. Let me make that clear. I'm the one who makes decisions. Shit. I think the country really needs a businessman to clear up all this Wall Street tangle. I really think the country wants a businessman, and that will be my campaign angle. So just forget me. I am your wife in every life I know. And if you run again, this is the end. No. We are bound for life, Mormon man and wife. If you leave, you get no planet shit. So do you think I ought to run for president? Third time is the charm, they tell me. Why, yes, my love, I think you should be president. And even if the campaign kills me, great.
Yeah, that's one thing you gotta say about old Mitt Romney. He was persistent. But he wasn't the only person given the Republican nomination serious consideration. There was this nutcase down in Texas who'd been a senator for 4 years by that point. Yep, went by the name of Ted Cruz, and nobody outside of the real far right wing wanted him to run. He was bound and determined. His own campaign manager tried to talk him out of it, in fact.
Listen, Ted, I'm your chief of staff, and I don't even know what my name is, so that's as far as I can go with this exposition. But don't you think you're pushing things by running for president this early?
I recall a certain fellow who got elected to the Senate first time, and 4 years later, he was president of the United States of America. A lad from Illinois, was he, with a weird, foreign-sounding name.
Yeah, but you ain't Barack Obama.
Obama? I was talking about Abraham Lincoln.
But Lincoln lost the 1858 election, and that was before senators were chosen by popular vote. Their state legislators appointed them. And even though Lincoln got more votes, they sent Stephen Douglas.
I ain't talking about the part Eddie Arnold played on Green Acres. I'm talking about the first Republican president of the United States, and the greatest one, despite that emancipation thing. And I will be next.
But I just think that...
I don't know what you're worried about. Take a pill and chill out. It will be a fucking rout for good old boy Ted Cruz. Jesus told me I should run, and you know, he's God's son. He said I'm the chosen one, no way that I can lose. No one in the GOP stands a chance next to me. Sober up and you will see I ain't no fake. To the White House I will glide on a wet slip and slide, and with Jesus by my side, big piece of cake. Romney, kiss my Christian ass. Perry ain't got no class. Jeb will probably take a pass. His last name still is Bush. Walker, who the hell is he? Rubio, can't you see? Dumbass Cuban boy is he. That's something I can push. Let me clarify that last statement there. In the past, Daddy split from Cuba fast, 'cause Castro was a red. I was born in Calgary, Canada, so you see, Cuban don't apply to me. That's what my pappy said. I became American, that way now I can run, and it will be lots of fun, and I will win. It'll be a piece of cake. Hillary's back, I will break, and you should make no mistake, that would be sin. Hillary is a commie witch, socialist lefty bitch. I will whoop her with a switch, leave welts there on her ass. I will cook her fascist goose, look out, Ted's on the loose. I will spank her fat caboose and serve it under glass. This'll be a piece of cake, piece of cake, piece of cake. This'll be a piece of cake, 'cause Jesus told me so. Romney's just a Mormon fool, Jindal is Satan's tool. Christie can sit there and drool, Pecker he can blow. Rand Paul don't mean shit to me, neither does Huckabee. Ryan reeks of therapy, he oughta know. This'll be a piece of cake, piece of cake, piece of cake, sitting there for me to take on with the show. Line him up, I'll mow him down, I ain't no Cuban clown, and my skin ain't quite as brown as Marco Rubio. If Rand Paul accepts his fate, he could be running mate, or else he can sit and wait till 2032. What's that? How's that? I will win 2 terms, that'll last for 16 years. I goofed. You're spoofed. I know that a president can only serve 8 years. Bullshit. Bullshit. Fuck it.
Well, it was about that time when Ted Cruz threw his hat in the ring that most of the sensible people decided that they didn't want any part of the nomination if it meant crawling in and mud wrestling with Ted Cruz. So, well, one by one they began to fall by the wayside. Each of them had a good reason for not running, of course.
I will never be the president. That is one fact that I'm fairly certain of. Not because I'm wrong on immigrants, moderate, civilized, mama's favorite son. I will never be the president. Write that down, carved in stone, in your memory push. Just because my name's Bush. Remember how popular my dad was when he won that first Gulf War? His popularity went through the floor because he raised taxes when he said he would never raise taxes, but he did because it was the right thing to do. And then my developmentally disabled brother George W. leapfrogged ahead of me and pretty well screwed up politics for the rest of my family for the next few decades by starting a war we had no business fighting against an enemy that was no threat to us. Remember that? I sure do. I was governor of Florida, did a good job, I'm told. With that I agree. I would make a decent president, not a nutcase or some wingnut extremist. But I'll never be the president. Take that right to the bank in a locker push. Just because my name is Bush. Chris, you're smart, but you're fat. That's what they all said, Chris. You're tough, but you're fat. And soon you'll be dead, Chris. Get a clue. Lose a fat. The people told me, sure. What the hell? It's as easy done as said, right, Chris? It's a sin. You're so fat. The pundits all said, Chris, you can't win. You're too fat. The headlines all read, Chris, you don't have to be fat. Go see your doctor, see if he will do stomach staple surgery. I let the sawbone staple my gut and lost some weight. I bought new suits that would fit my new butt and started planning for 16. I put a huge padlock on my fridge. I lost some weight. I lost more weight. And then those morons shut down the bridge. My shrinking waist had gone to waste. I lost the weight. Yeah, I lost the weight. Thought it was my fate to be the party centrist nominee. I lost the weight. Boy, I lost the weight. But what fucking good did it do me? I'm looking great at my current weight. Toting far less freight in my caboose. My pants are loosey-goosey, screw all that. Back when I was fat, no one had the balls to abuse me. So now I'm slim, I'm fit and trim. I'm at the gym, lift weights and swim. But now I'm grim, my future dark and dim, because some knucklehead shut down a bridge. With all I lost, what did I gain? For what did I endure the pain? So dimwits could close down a traffic lane and tie up traffic for days on the bridge. I'm finished.
Anyway, for a while there, it looked like Ted Cruz might have clear sailing to the nomination, which, of course, that made Hillary Clinton pretty happy, but Mitt Romney was still in there swinging, and swinging, and swinging, and swinging.
I take a firm position and I stand like this, but I don't disregard the shifting sand like this. When someone carves his talking points in stone like Chris, it makes it hard to reinvent yourself and makes it seem like you've been taken out of context in sound bites like this. You cannot win debates when someone fights like this. It's certainly clear as can be. You cannot pin a man down when he's slippery and oily as can be like this. The Book of Mormon says it's right to lie like this. It's okay to prevaricate when telling lies to win a prize that glorifies and signifies the glory of the Lord the way I do, like this. The other guys will see that when they're through, like this. You must admit that they will quit when they all realize that they've been shown to be unfit to tie my shoes, like this.
Well, Dad, I gotta say it certainly sounds like you got your stuff together this time.
What do you mean this time? I had it together last time, too.
Yeah, I just don't think that 47% thing helped you any.
Well, I didn't realize that there was a camera in the room, and besides, if the people can't handle a simple truth, how are they going to handle 8 years of me as president, huh?
Well, you raise a good point there, Pop.
I'll win the nomination if I run like this. And then I'll lead the nation when I've won like this. Old Hillary will have to see she doesn't stand a chance because the voters want a leader who can lead like this.
Well, as days went on, Mitt Romney, he was still in there pitching, but no one was hitting him. Mitt finally just kind of drifted off into obscurity. He looks good over there. So I kind of left it up to Ted Cruz. It looked like he was going to win the nomination. Until one day he filmed a campaign commercial. You ain't going to believe what happened.
Ted Cruz for president, gun safety, this is take 23. Action.
Hi, this here's Ted Cruz. And if you don't know me by now, you're never going to know me at all. That's just a little joke. But anyway, I'm here to talk about gun safety. You know, the gun grabbers, they can't hardly wait until Hillary gets elected so they can come to your house and take all your guns. Well, I'm here to tell you that if anybody tries to lay their hands on my gun, I'll blow a hole through them that the wind will blow through. You ever hear a wind blowing through a hole before? Oh, sorry. That was a chili I had for lunch. Anyway, you gotta just be careful with a gun. You know, you don't wave it around willy-nilly like this Colt 45 I got in my hand here. Make sure that whatever you're pointing that thing at is something that you are willing to kill. Don't fuss around with it. It ain't no toy. Don't ever point it to your head like I'm doing now, because you never know when the sumbitch is gonna... Ooh, that was loud. Hey, that looks like the top of my head laying on the ground over there. And whose brain is that?
Cut.
Meanwhile, about the same time all this was going on, the 44th President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, sat in the Oval Office staring at his desktop. He knew his time was coming to a close and he felt sad about everything he had hoped to change. But because of Republican stonewalling, it would be all left undone. He'd have to hope that Hillary could pick up where he left off, but he had no false illusions about her devotion to actual liberal causes, and knew her to be a Wall Street Democrat. But still, there's hope.
I'm gonna miss this place. Girls grew up here. I hoped for change. I must have been insane, 'cause I can't do it by myself. My hoped for change, it soon went up in flames. My legacy on the shelf. I thought that I could be the guy to set us free. Still, I must have been crazy to think the right would not fight just to keep the right to their privilege white. I gave it my best shot. I hoped for change, and you may think it's strange. I thought I could fight the system and win. I hoped for change, I just could not arrange. And now my hope's wearing thin. I fought the GOP and turned around to see that no one had my backside. They left me to hang and twist in the wind. My liberal base, my base, how they quickly deserted, and then they turned against me. And I fought like hell. My numbers fell and fell. I hoped for change. I thought that I could bring it. I tried, but then nothing changed. My hoped for change, no one can rearrange. This tangle, my dream of hope and change. Still, I hope for change. Yeah. Say that again. Oh shit. When will this be? Do we have a contingency for this? I mean, I thought we had a contingency for this. I see. Well, gather the national security team and We'll meet in the Situation Room in a half hour. This is a hell of a thing to tell me, kid, but thank you. And thank you for your service. Well, it's not the change I hoped for. This is Anderson Cooper, along with my typical New Year's Eve co-host, Kathy Griffin. Kathy, how is it that you ended up being chosen by CNN for convention coverage?
Well, I think it was because they knew this was going to be a pretty boring affair, and they were hoping maybe I'd take my shirt off or something like that.
I see. Well, the delegates have decided to forego the traditional roll call vote, and it looks like they're going to just appoint Hillary Clinton by acclamation. Let's go to the floor.
Anderson, do you?
Well, there was no challenge to her once she took Martin O'Malley on as her running mate. Oh, look, they're going to continue. Why, yes, it appears to be the Supreme Pontiff of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, the Pope. This is unprecedented in the history of American politics. He's taking the ring off of his finger, and with some difficulty, he's shoving it onto Hillary Clinton's finger. I guess this signifies that the Christian Catholic establishment is supporting Hillary Clinton.
Well, I guess if I'm going to take my shirt off, I better do it now before they start singing again. Oh,
like a done deal, Kathy. Hillary Clinton is the official nominee. Oh, Kathy, put those away. So the Democrats put the crown on Hillary Clinton, and Bill stood in the wings watching and waiting. The Republicans weren't quite as filled with jubilation as the Democrats were when the delegates went filing into the convention center there in Cleveland that summer. Air to Reagan, air to Reagan. All we want is an air to Reagan. All we have here is just a losing choice. No one to speak with, just a single voice. Where's our Gipper? Bring back the Gipper. Who can be that heir to Reagan? Heir to Reagan. Heir to
Yep, It was a bunch of sad critters, all right. Well, they went through about 10, I think 15 maybe, ballots, and couldn't find anybody to get a majority. And then, as will sometimes happen, somebody you weren't even thinking of come crawling out of the woodwork.
A clear superior nominee is someone like Rand Paul, a libertarian option who would satisfy us all. He'll keep us out of the foreign wars and build a border wall. He'll be our president, what a president. I support Rand Paul. He understands the government can see to every need. He'll do away with the Fed and legalize our favorite weed. To all America's enemies, he'll never bow and plead. We'll mind our business and stick to business. It's Rand Paul that we need. I place in the nomination our Rand Paul, a man who can't ignore his nation's call. He understands that our founders made way clear what they meant. They saw no need for central government. A son of Kentucky, please vote for Rand Paul. He has the slightest charming southern drawl. He'll reinstate the gold standard, shut down Capitol Hill. As President, Rand Paul will do our will. Let's choose Rand Paul and send him on his way to landslide victory on Election Day. No more U.S. intrusion, no more Fed confusion, no more foreign fights. He don't care if you're black or white. He'll let the local folks decide their fates. He knows this nation is United States. There's no pot prohibition, all on one condition. You gotta vote for Rand Paul. But what about God? In favor of God. Jesus Christ too. Likes Jesus too. Will he support prayer in school? If that's what the states want. And what about gays? The states will pray. And what about strays? It's up to the states. It sounds like you're saying the states will have the power. Right. Who needs a central government? Who wants a central government? He'll do away with those who say it's from your pockets. We should pay for roads and bridges. People are not fools. He'll shut down federal funding for the schools. In public, there'll be prayer. Won't fleece the taxpayer. Clean your food and water. Do it local like you oughter. If you want to breathe polluted air, well, that's your choice. We really could not care. He'll stay out of your business with God as my witness. Really should vote for Rand Paul. But what about guns? He loves him some guns. And our civil rights. That's up to the whites. Because after all, we are still a majority. So slavery's cool. If that's your state's rule. If we segregate. That's up to your state. It's not DC's job to legislate morality. Starting to sound just like a president, a great American president. We'll back Ron Paul up to the wall and heed his call. So come on all and get in line and nominate Rand Paul, a man who heard and answered heaven's call. He knows our blessed nation's in need of salvation. He will not negotiate with those who would deny each state the right to make and live by their own rules, to plan and legislate what's taught in schools. It's Rand Paul that we favor. He's our nation's savior. Everyone in favor say aye. Aye!
And so, with the 2016 conventions out of the way, the campaigning began in earnest. And Hillary found herself to be not quite as inevitable as she thought she was. For one thing, people liked the idea that Rand Paul was putting out there about government getting entirely out of their lives. You see, when a man is promising you the moon and telling you you don't gotta pay for it, you gotta be a really, really smart person to say no to that. America wasn't really blessed with a ton of smart people back in them days. So, it came down to the final week before the election, and the last time that Rand Paul and Hillary Clinton took the stage together. It was their third and final debate. Something unfortunate happened. Decided the election.
You have called me a socialist. Well, I must say that is quite a twist. You have called me a commie witch, using a word that rhymes with witch. You have called me a troglodyte. That's a low, dirty way to fight. But I suppose that is all you saw, living there with Bill up in Arkansas. Well, I have been called so many names, and I refuse to play petty games. But I must say, sir, with just one glance, it's quite apparent that you wet your pants. I wet my pants. You wet your pants. I can't believe it that you wet your pants. I wet my pants. I wet my pants. On live TV, I just soaked my pants. He wet his pants. I wet my pants. Like a big baby, he wet his pants. He should have chosen darker threads. You can see the stain as it spreads. He wet his pants. He soaked his pants. You can't but notice with one small glance. I think the message that Rand Paul sends is don't do TV without the pens. He wet his pants. He wet his pants. And you were winning till you wet your pants. He wet my pants. He wet his pants. And it's all over now. You've wet your pants. Oh shit!
Well, my friends, there's a lot of slip-ups and faux pas that a candidate can survive. Mispronouncing somebody's name or tripping on the steps walking to the podium, that kind of thing, you know. But pissing your pants on live TV and then blubbering about it like a baby, that ain't something the American voter is likely to overlook. So when election day came, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion who was going to run off with it. And she did.
Baby, I always knew you were going to win, but you won every state.
Yep.
You got all the electoral votes.
Every one of them.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, he peed his pants on television. What
yeah,
you gonna do?
Even I couldn't have pulled that one off and got reelected.
Back in the White House, back in the White House, back in the White House, this time for good. Back in the White House, back in the White House, back in the White House, just like we should.
A Democrat House, the Senate is too.
We'll pass our agenda, every state blue.
You shattered the glass, you whooped Rand Paul's ass.
That pants-wetting moron singing the blues. Back in the White House, back in the White House, back in the White House, and they'll all see we're back in the White House, back in the White House, back in the White House.
Look, the TV.
Oh, it's probably just more.
This is CNN breaking news.
This is Wolf Blitzer. We interrupt our election night coverage to report this, literally, earth-shattering news. According to scientists from the Palomar Observatory, the Earth is moments away from a collision with an asteroid about 1/3 the size of the Moon. Scientists predict the asteroid will strike the Pacific Ocean just south of Hawaii in a matter of moments. Wait just a moment. I've just been informed by my producer that President Obama is going to make a statement about the asteroid from the Oval Office. He rarely makes announcements from the Oval Office, choosing to use the East Room for that, so this must be important. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, guess what? We are about a minute or so away from being killed by a huge asteroid that will strike the Pacific Ocean, turning it into steam in a matter of seconds, and the shock of impact will set off earthquakes, tidal waves, and all kinds of nasty stuff like that. But you won't have to worry about it. We'll all be dead from the shock caused by the impact. Now, you have every right to ask yourself, why didn't the government warn us about this? Didn't they know? Fuck yeah, we knew. We've known about this bad boy for the last 6 months. We've been charting it, plotting it, and came to the realization that there's nothing we can do about it. No time to build a rocket or anything to get humanity off the planet into safety. Republicans cut the NASA budget, remember? They cut every fucking thing except tax breaks for the rich for the last 2 years, and you stupid redneck teabagging sons of bitches let it happen. And when everything turned to shit, and unemployment went up to 15%, and we defaulted on our loans because the Republicans wouldn't budge, you stupid bastards blamed me for it. You blame me for every Republican fuck-up since 2009, and now I've seen to it that the kids, Sasha and Malia, have been put to sleep, as they say, so they won't have to go through this. I've made the same offer to Michelle, but she wouldn't take the pill, so she's standing here beside me, right here. These will be my last words, the last words ever broadcast, the signals being sent out into the universe for perhaps someone to hear someday. Fuck you. And yes, I was in Kenya.
He fucked me again!
Boy, the moon sure got bright all of a
That
sudden.
ain't the moon, you hillbilly son of a... Yep. That's what happened. Good night.
Hot cheddar injection.
Father's Day is on its way, and here's a quick quiz for the ladies. What type of man is the head of your house? Is he rugged in the great outdoors? Does he help with household chores? Whichever type he is, he's bound to be the Old Spice type. So you and the kids treat him to Old Spice by Shulton. Finest grooming aids a man can use. Give Old Spice aftershave lotion, brisk and bracing, happiest ending a shave ever had, $1. Or something new in sets. Aftershave lotion, men's cologne, and stick deodorant. Handy for travel in a bright red box, $2. Or splurge with the Captain's Box. 5 great grooming aids in one handsome box, $5. There's a wide selection of Old Spice gifts, priced from $1 to $7. Finest grooming aids a man can use.
Old Spice means quality.
Said the captain to the bosun, and on the package with the ship that sails the ocean.
Hot cheddar injection.
Well, I hope we all had a little fun with that. That CD MP3 download is available on Amazon, iTunes. Just look for 2016 A Race Odyssey. And through our next several episodes, we're going to run through my collection of CD comedy, such as it is, rather than talk about disgusting things and disgusting people. Speaking of which, my amended complaint in the federal lawsuit was delivered to the courthouse today. One of the remaining defendants will get her copy probably tomorrow, and the other remaining defendant, assuming he doesn't wet himself and hide when he sees the postman, should have his on Saturday. The lawsuit will continue, and we probably will add more names as time goes by, but I just don't feel like giving these people the time of day. My wife, the late Gail Schmalfelt, gave of herself rather than just be buried and forgotten. That letter, you can see it on the website, thepontificator.com. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Now it's time for the next thing that's good.